Kristiina, the other day at Independence Day, we were talking about the similarity between conditions as they were for Estonia in 1918 and how they might be in 2018 and 2019. Do you think that the Brexit and the apparent collapse of a German empire and maybe a continuing problematic Russia, do you think the situation is similar?
Well, yes, I understand your point where when you are comparing the Brexit with the situation 100 years ago, like Britain was a savior for many countries in Europe. Yes, I see the similarity here. Maybe when I'm looking towards for the results what Brexit may bring to Europe in general, including Estonia, what it would mean. And the one option is that when Brexit has taken place completely, then there will be created a new union which is based on free trade economy, free trade area. This could be like a Northern Union, which the countries like Denmark, like Iceland, like Norway, who are not the members of the EU in the moment, or plus Finland, and why not Estonia, Netherlands, after the elections with Geert Wilders, maybe Poland. In a way, we could think about it that there will be a new union. European Union has finished anyway. This cannot survive like it is today.
There are some people who see it slightly differently, of course, that there's a choice now between two futures. I heard Sim Kallas in Brussels just the other day saying that if the European Union does erode, collapse, particularly with the election of these people you mentioned, Estonia would drift into the Russian orbit. And that was precisely why the British supported Estonian independence, not so much out of love of the Estonians, but the desire, they understood that independence for these countries was a way of preventing them falling into the Russian sphere of influence.
I disagree because we should not forget that Estonia belongs to NATO. European Union is not a guarantee for our security by no means. And this European Union has become a threat to our security in the moment. It's not safeguarding Estonian security. NATO is the one, and we will remain in NATO. Even if European Union will, if not breaking up, when it's going to be changed, then there is nothing to do with our security. And all this kind of talks that we must by any means stick in Brussels, it's a wrong direction. It's not truth. It's sort of imagination, and never has been European Union for a security guarantee for us. It has been, yes, economic security. We can speak about social security maybe, but not the real security.
It's interesting you say this because I think the popularity of the way you're talking is far greater amongst ordinary people, particularly in Estonia. The establishment, the politicians are saying one thing, but I'll give you an example. On Friday morning, on Independence Day, at our local church, the pastor spoke from the pulpit about a different kind of union and a different kind of independence. Now, obviously he was speaking from the pulpit and he was talking about the kingdom of God not being of this world, but he spoke in front of an Estonian flag as well as a cross. It was Independence Day, it was a political event. Afterwards we spoke about this, and it didn't occur to anybody there that the British Brexit vote had been some kind of act of unfriendliness against Estonian people. Rather, they were on the Brexit side. They were just looking forward to a different way of being friends. It never occurred to anyone that we weren't friends anymore. It was just how to carry on. Is that how you think the future will develop now?
I think you are well aware that Estonian people support Brexit. I don't know, we didn't have such polls, but if they would be, I'm quite sure that more than 50% of Estonians would say that we should follow British example. Because European Union, as I told, this has become a threat to us. When Estonia normally have used to live under the threat which is normally coming from the east, now this threat is coming from the north in direct way, from Finland and from Sweden, who are members of the European Union, and this threat is coming towards us because of this EU's immigration policy. This hundreds of thousands of Africans, Middle East illegals who have settled in the Nordic countries. They are threatening our security here. If they one day decide to come here, and they are open to come here, they are allowed to come here because of these open borders. There is no border control at all. Northern countries are delivering some sort of strange documents for those illegals who are demonstrating now in the center of Helsinki, city of Helsinki, the capital of Finland, who are called by Finnish government illegals. They refuse to leave the country. And one day when they are really beaten up or kicked out from Finland, they may come to Estonia. This is a threat to us. And therefore, many things will change this year in Europe. It's quite clear. And I think that Brexit was really the best what could happen to the European Union for safeguarding the national states, for safeguarding our culture and traditions in Europe. Of course, in Britain, you have a big trouble with also these immigrants, illegals, mixing of cultures, mixing of races. It's terrible what's going on in Britain as well. But here in the Eastern and Central Europe, we can be a safeguard parts for Europe, like Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, has said openly. We have said it already 2 years ago. Like Estonia, Hungary, we can remain the white countries where Europeans, the indigenous Europeans, one day need the land to come and live peacefully and have their children here without a threat which is coming from Islam and which is coming from African mass immigration.
It certainly seems to me a very cruel betrayal, because I should imagine that when you were negotiating Estonia's accession and when I was opposing it, we on our side never envisaged that there would be such a betrayal, and I should imagine you never imagined that this could be.
Yes, it was a different union, and this is exactly what I said openly, publicly a few days ago when I was speaking in one of these squares of Tallinn within our Independence Day. I said, yes, I'm Kristiina Ojuland, the former foreign minister who signed this accession treaty with the European Union. I negotiated the accession of Estonia to the European Union, but that was a different union what we joined 13 years ago. There was nothing to do such illegal immigration. There was nothing to do with this illegal commission quota policy, which under what the immigrants, the illegals, are distributed under the name of refugees between the member states. It has changed. I mean, this Europe as it is today, this union does not have a future. The national countries, the indigenous Europeans, they will stand up against this kind of policies, what Merkel and Juncker and other people have established within 2-3 years. It's illegal, it's against the indigenous people, and this is what I mean, is under the UN law, under the UN United Nations conventions, it's a genocide against indigenous Europeans. If you bring so many Africans, if you bring so many Arabs in to Europe, which will at the end of the day, in 20-30 years, after they have so many children comparing with the Europeans, they will take over They will take over Europe. Do we want it?
No, and I think, especially for a nation of about only 1 million people.
It's not about the question either million or French 50, 60 million. It's the same. In France, Islam is really spreading everywhere. Starting with this elementary educational system, ending up with the high education on the university level, on everyday lives. It's the only hope that Marine Le Pen will win the elections in France. Even maybe this establishment, the political establishment, will be shocked. But if she will not do it in this year, 5 years, it will be simply too late for France to be safeguarded.
Well, I think that brings a certain urgency that we have to create a future better than the past, and we have to do it very soon indeed. Kristiina, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.